Hello you guys, so Pragg is in semi-finals and this game was a key game which brought him there. Arjun Erigaisi had taken down Pragg with the black pieces in the first game and this time Pragg has to strike with the black. So let's just straightly dive into this brilliant game. So Arjun Erigaisi had the white pieces and he opens the game with e4 and now you want a win from black. What you play? You're damn right about it. c5, the Sicilian defense, and now we have a surprise on move 2. c3, the Alpine variation. Now Alpine is played occasionally in the upper level due to its reputation of being a dry variation. But as a white you want a draw, right? So let's just go for it. Now there are mainly two ways black plays here. Either go for the d5 or go for knight to f6 here. Pragg chooses knight to f6 and this knight to f6 variation, what blacks want to white to do is actually overextend its pawn and later attack it. So now we have e5 here, knights go to knight to d5. Now Arjun played knight to f6 and now we have knight to c3 and d4, c takes d4 and c takes d4. Now Pragg attack white strong center with d6 and now we have a key move by Arjun, bishop to c4. Now it looks like white is losing a tempo here after knight to b6 here, but the thing is after knight to b6 white have bishop to b5 here and now you have to play bishop to d7, otherwise you are worse. So after bishop to d7 this bishop is not in its ideal square, so it is not losing a tempo here. And secondly, after bishop to c4, let's say if you try another move of the knight, let's say knight to b4 here, you are losing after d5 here because one of the knight is going to be taken here. And if you try to play, let's say knight to c7 here, this knight is actually misplaced in and where it is going from here. So they knows about it. So now Arjun played knight to c3 here and now Pragg trades the central pawn with d takes e5 and d takes e5. Now how to develop this dark square bishop? If you try to play, let's say e6 here, you are actually blocking your light square bishop here, so it is no good. So here Pragg chooses the best way to develop this bishop via g6 here. So now we have castles here and now bishop to g7. And now your e5 pawn is actually attacked twice here. So queen to e2, defending it, and now we have castles and now we have h3, stopping any trade on g4 here. And now Pragg plays bishop to e6, first getting away from this d1 trickery and secondly in the near future if position allowed there could be a threat of bishop to f4 and pushing of the pawn here. So stopping all of them. Now Arjun played rook to d1 here and queen goes to c7 here and now we have bishop to f4 and now rook a to d8 and now rook a to c1. So placing the pieces on its better square and now Pragg plays a brave decision, knight to d5. As you are in must-win situation, so you must not trade more pieces here, but Pragg has a plan here. Knight takes d5, bishop takes d5 and now Arjun goes for another trade with knight to d4. And now Pragg played queen to b6, so he wants Arjun to take the knight here. So knight takes c6 and b takes c6 and now bishop to c4. And now Pragg is winning a pawn here and he goes for it. Bishop takes c4, queen takes c4 and rook takes d1 and rook takes d1 and now Pragg grabs a pawn. Queen takes b2. Now Arjun plays a very good move, e6 here. So the problem is if you just take here, you're now just having a 4 isolated pawns here. And secondly, if you try to just push here, you will have a rook to d7 and now you have problems here. So Pragg sees it all in place, queen to f6. And now Arjun plays bishop to e3 attacking the a7 pawn here and now we have queen takes e6, queen takes e6 and f takes e6 and now he grabs a pawn with bishop takes a7. And now here Arjun will be happy because black pawns are actually isolated and it will be an easy target. And will Pragg will make him happy? Let's see. And now Pragg played rook to a8. So whenever the bishop moves, your a2 pawn is hanging. So we have rook to d7, protecting the bishop and attacking this e7 pawn here. And now we have king to f7. And now the only inaccuracy in the move, a4. So instead of a4, the best route for the Arjun was to go to f7 here. So let's say if black plays any move like h5 here and now you have bishop to c5 attacking the e7 pawn and you have to defend it. And now you play rook to a7. So you can't trade it, it will be a draw here. So you have to decline it and now you push the pawns here and it will be an easy draw. But Arjun misses it and now Pragg has a winning tempo here and he started it with bishop to e5. Now Pragg played an endgame like a Magnus Carlsen. So after king to f1, first he do he make the position of the bishop better by bishop to d6, and secondly he bring the king closer to the pawn. And now we have c5, so shutting the black dark square bishop here. Now we have a5. So after a5, what Pragg do? He first shuffles, so its pawn goes to a6 here, and now he goes again to a8 here. Now this bishop and rook are just dead here, and now we have king to c3, and now we have g5. So his rook and bishop can't go anywhere, and he has to just shuffle his king here. So king to d3, and now h5, king to c3, and now just winning tempo e4, and now f takes e4 and e takes e4. And now in the rest of the game, Arjun was unable to equalize in this position, and he just eventually lose the rest of the pawns here, and even he just brought his queen to the game here, but just Praggnanandhaa just brought the second queen via here. And now you no longer have checks here. If you give this check, you just go there and you no longer have no checks. So here Arjun Erigaisi just resigned here. So Pragg forces a tie break here, and he was also the victorious there. So this was for the video. If you like the video, do like and subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for the more updates.